Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce a rising star on the spoken word scene, representing Team at Ease Entertainment as well as Epic Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, Kells, the artist.
How y'all doing? I am Kells, the artist. No weapons formed against me shall prosper as long as God is with me. I disguise my success as a setback just to see who was really rocking with me. You see, this road be long and narrow, but I never complain and still walk it. Even though at times I be feeling like a little bitty candle flickering in a room full of darkness, but my spirit's strong, and I got faith. God be giving me instructions, I just gotta do what he say. I figured out how to avoid that crucial mistake, and that's to never pray without preparing, or you'll just be saying words until you turn blue in the face, and from my understanding, that's the usual case. I crack a smile in my imagination and stay focused until it manifests. I be humble through my accomplishments because I know it's always another test, but when God ordering your steps, you gotta trust the process. So I be like, left, right, left, right. I left the wrong things alone and I got my mind right, now my mind set. And my thoughts different. So even in a room full of greasy banana peels, I still wouldn't get caught slipping. I breathe deep when I meditate. I learn fear's just a thought, so these days I don't hesitate. I be spitting from my soul, so if you real, it's gonna resonate. I'm my only competition, but still never seen second place. It'd be more like zero, no highest. See, I believe anything is possible because you don't really know until you try it. Food for thought, I've been on a mental diet. I be spitting so many hot bars, I should have gingivitis. Soldier like Leonidas, so the police trying to indict us, thinking I'm a drug lord just because me and God got an alliance. But see, it's all part of the process. It's kind of hard trying to take off when some of your Migos be offset, so sometimes you got to offset and figure out where your thoughts at. I paid enough attention to realize that your happiness shouldn't cost that, so I be cautious. I'm real picky on who I choose to give my energy to. You see, I had to understand that the person in the mirror could be an enemy too, and what greater threat is that bigger than you? You see, it's all part of the process. Thank you.
Hi, I'm DARLIN MIKKI here. Everyone has a story. I am your guest host today, and my co-host is.
I'm Hoodrais from Team at Ease Entertainment.
And we have our guest here. His name is Kells, the artist.
Kells.
How are you, Kells?
I'm epic. How you guys doing today?
Epic.
Yes,
epic,
I am.
epic, epic.
Very epic.
Yeah, that's a good word to use.
It is.
So you are a spoken word artist.
Yes, I am.
Rapper, hip-hop artist,
Yes.
all the above.
Uh-huh.
You came on the scene like, boop, and shot straight to the roof. How was that done? Because the last time I had an encounter with you, was just putting out a book, and I knew nothing about it. Now you are nominated for so many awards, national awards.
My impact came from personal development. Like before I even spit a poem on the poetry scene, I was already deep into personal development. So
I already had a plan before I became a spoken word artist. I had no clue how the Chicago spoken word scene was until I actually went to one of the events. And if it wasn't for this particular occasion, when I had searched the internet for open mics in Chicago, I probably wouldn't even be an artist in Chicago to this day.
So you didn't dip into hip hop first, you dipped into spoken word.
No, I was a hip hop artist first. That's why I was saying, like, I probably wouldn't even be a poet had I didn't look for an open mic scene to go to. I would have still been rapping, though, but it probably wouldn't have been on the scale that it is now.
Oh, nice.
So, the times that I've seen you out, like, we frequent some of the same spots. We around each other a lot, and I noticed that you always have a positive spin on everythything.
Yes,
like you know, we could be sitting around talking about, like, man, little homie got shot on the block the other day. He be like, yeah, but God gonna take care of everything. You know what I mean? Like, you have this personal zen about yourself that keeps a positive. How did you get to that point? Like, how does a young man get to that point in his life with?
It was reading a lot of books. Literally, it took my mind off of what I already knew, and it took me into a whole different avenue. It's like, you know, everything that they said that everything you need to know is already written in the book. And before then, I wasn't reading books. So it was a period in my life where I literally stayed in the house for 4 months straight, just reading self-help and personal development books. And that's where my mindset came from. I changed my paradigm. A paradigm is a multitude of habits. It's like a thinking pattern. So I changed my thinking pattern. So everything that happens to me, I process it in a positive manner.
See, that says something, a young black man using the word paradigm. It's not happening regularly. So as a host, a hip-hop artist, a spoken word artist, like, do you have a preference? Like, what's your go-to? What do you default to? Is it like, I could say, I've dabbled in it all myself. Like, and I'm at the stage where I just kind of prefer to be a host. I enjoy hosting. So, like, is there a preference to you? Is it you prefer poetry? Do you prefer spoken word?
I prefer poetry because I can say a lot more doing poetry versus me rapping on a 2-minute instrumental. Even if I looped it and made it 7 minutes, it'd probably become boring. But if I'm standing right there in front of you, I can capture your attention. I know how to capture people's attention. So as long as I got your attention, I know I can say something impactful so that you can take something back with it. So I would say my go-to is poetry.
Nice.
So where are you from?
I'm from the south side of Chicago.
So living on the south side of Chicago, it's not too many positive things going on.
It's not.
Positive things, but you keep a smile. You keep all these positive messages flowing and going and going. And
That's why.
I've listened. I'm just saying, haven't you had lost family members,
Yes,
friends,
yes.
been shot at,
Yes,
I know that these have been
yes.
robbed, all of
Yes.
these things.
All
How
of
can you
those
still
things.
smile though?
Because, like, I've done those things. So for me to not accept those things, I would be a hypocrite. I've robbed people. I've shot at people. I've did all of those things before. So now that I changed my mindset, I'm more in a more grateful space now that I can see those things going on and be grateful that I'm not involved with it anymore.
Okay, Kells, I want to get a little bit deeper into your life, but we're going to go to a commercial break right now, guys. We'll be right back. You don't cry when you get tired.
Marcus Jones says he's headed in the right direction today. That's much different than where he was headed 2 decades ago.
It was good because you got the money for the right there. You get the money, and as the customers come, and the money piled up in your pockets.
That was when Jones was just 16 years old. He was already a member of a known gang. By the time he was 24, Jones attempted to rob another gang member.
As I was exiting the home, I got shot, and didn't even know I had got shot, and tried to get back up, and I couldn't.
Jones has been in a wheelchair ever since. He wrote a book titled, "Everyone Has a Story. This is Mine." He hopes that his mistakes can wake up others.
You always think that it could never happen to you until it happens.
Jones educates people in his own uptown neighborhood.
But he also worked with other schools and students in other communities. And that put some parents' minds at ease.
I look at Marcus and I think, and I thank God, my son could have been in that wheelchair.
He also encourages everyone to stay away from the drugs he once sold.
He said, Steve, when they say they want to give you a free high, they don't tell you about the low-down consequences of accepting that free high.
Jones's book was published in January. In just 2 short decades, he went from selling drugs to selling books and selling hope.
We're back where everyone has a story. I'm Darlin MIKKI with my co-host, HOODRAISED, and we're back to talk to Kells, the artist.
Kells, the artist. So I got to say, you intrigued me with your storytelling so far. But I'm interested to know, like, you speak of such positivity, right? Mm-hmm. But then you said you had to change your paradigm. What happened prior? Like, what was the point that made you say, okay, this isn't working, I got to go a different direction?
So it was me being in the midst of all of the violence, all of the negativity, all of the shootings, the robbings, people going to jail. And I'm looking at it like I'm no different from them. I'm not immune from it either. So if they're going through it, I can go through it too. So that's what made me realize, like, okay, it's more than just about me. Mm-hmm. It's more than just about trying to look cool for somebody else, because at first that's all I was doing. I was a big follower. I was a chameleon. Whatever color you was that day, I was trying to be that color too, just so I can have something to relate to. I wanted to fit in. But it was like when I had my daughter when I turned 20. And when I had my daughter, I started thinking. And that was the best thing that I could start doing, was started thinking. Because then I realized, like, it don't matter what you do. I still have to get done what I have to get done, and you're not gonna do it for me. And when I realized that they wasn't trying to do it for me, I was like 100% okay. Personal. Make sure that you are the best you that you can be. And I didn't have a father, so when I had my daughter, I was like, I gotta definitely be the best father ever possible.
Shout out to the fathers, always.
Most definitely.
Grieving. I noticed you don't cry, there's nothing sad. I mean, I've really been trying to, like, pull something out of you that would, you know, because I know that you've lost family. Mm-hmm. I know that you've lost friends. But how do you grieve if you don't cry? If you don't say, I mean, how is that?
Everything happens for a reason. And on the human level, we might not see that reason right then and there. You know, we might not see it, but everything literally happens for a reason. Whether your family member died from a gunshot wound or something, it was a reason behind all of that. So once you get to the bigger, you can skip past all of the minuscule things that help you get to those emotions, because at the end of the day, you still gotta live.
He sounds like an old wise man from China or something. You know, like he got all this wisdom just seeping out of him, and he's just sitting there cool like, yes.
He gonna cry when he get in the car.
Probably from my left eye.
So, personal goals. I see that's something that's big to you. Mm-hmm. What's next? Like, what can we look forward to from Kells, the artist?
For me is I will be hosting more. So my whole thing is bringing people together. I want to bring new talent to the forefront. I want to get other people recognized. That's why I started doing Epic Night Open Mic. I wanted to have another platform for people to go to and to showcase their talents, because I'm good with my talents. You know, it's not even really about me. I have enough avenues for me to express myself. So my whole thing is now is getting other people with the light shined on them. So that's why I'm more into hosting and stuff. So that's a big personal goal for me, is bringing more people to the limelight.
So let me ask you, is that all you do? Host? You tell us about what you actually do.
Okay, I am a motivational speaker. I have a call that I do. It's called Real Talk Tuesdays, and previously they was every Tuesday, but fortunately I've been blessed with so many opportunities to perform that I minimized them to at least once a month.
Okay.
And I haven't done one literally in like 2 months because of all of the blessings that I've been receiving lately. So usually it's once a month, every Tuesday, and it's personal topics that we all go through on a daily basis. It can be a topic like love, commitment, matrimony, or thoughts just in general. And I don't use my own topics. I ask people for a topic so it can help me grow myself. And that's why I do a lot of personal development, because if I allow you to choose a topic that I know nothing about, I have to research it. I have to grow. I have to learn something. And that's why I extend that to the audience to give me a topic to do. I'm also a published author. I have a book on Amazon. It's called Thoughts of a Thinker. That book is amazing because it's just like Markell. It's not just my personal thoughts. It's blank pages in the book for my readers to enter their thoughts if they don't agree with mine. I also have poetry in that book. I have a couple of music CDs out. My first CD is called Abnormal. And around that time, I was like 24, 25 when I first released Abnormal.
A baby.
And I felt like it was nobody doing what I was doing. All positive, no curse words, no profanity, no N-words, none of that. And I'm young and I'm black. And it's at the time where it's a lot of drill music, especially coming from Chicago. You feel like you got to be the toughest rapper out. And I was like, I'm not going to do none of that. I'm going to be myself. And that's why I call it Abnormal. And then my second CD is called Cloud Talk because it's a progression from me being abnormal. Now I know that I'm different, and now I'm being prideful that I'm different, and now I'm letting other people know it's okay for you to be different too.
Okay, Kells. So we're going to come back. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll talk to you guys next. One more time.
Take a breath.
We are back. Everyone has a story. We have our guest, Kells, the artist. How you doing, Kells?
Epic.
Epic.
You knew it was coming, didn't you?
So that is a term that you hear regularly in conversation, especially amongst artists. How you doing? I'm epic. Man, that show was epic. Epic. But when I first met you, you already had epic tattooed on your neck. I was like, this is something he really believes in. So define epic to me. What does it really mean coming from you?
Okay, EPIC is an acronym for Effectively Producing Immaculate Creativity.
One more time. Say that again.
Effectively producing immaculate creativity.
Wow.
Effectively. Yes.
So tell us about Epic Movement.
So Epic Movement, right? Epic Movement started a long time ago. It originally started when I was back in New York. And I was hanging with my friend, his name is Simpson. Y'all look him up, he's a good dude. So everywhere we went, I was in New York for about 8 days, and everywhere we went, this man had a quarter in his pocket. He was eating, he was getting on the bus, he was getting in places, he was everything I was spending all of my money. The man had a quarter from the time I got out there to the time I left. And he told me, like, you don't really need money, you need resources. And that's what, it is just something in my brain that clicked. Like, so if you mean to tell me, as long as I know the boss, I don't have to pay for the meal. He was like, pretty much. So ever since that day, it was supposed to be Epic Movement University, and the university was supposed to be YOU, like university, because it's a learning process that we got to go through. And I wanted to be more immaculate, more productive, more effective. And that was the whole concept about it, is basically teaching people personal development from my point of view, from an urban standpoint. Because, you know, as a young man reading the Bible, there's big words in there. You don't really comprehend it. So my job is to simplify it for everybody to understand it in your own way. Meet people where they at. And that's where Epic Movement started from. It's just like, okay, understanding that you don't need a bunch of money, but you do need resources. And as long as you can obtain those resources, you can accomplish your goals.
You have taught us something here today.
From the wise man.
All from a young wise man. Well, we appreciate your time and for telling your story. We'd like to thank you guys for just tuning in to Everyone Has a Story. Thank you.